I'm from the north side of Minneapolis, bro. The culture that comes from here permeates the whole world. Okay, everybody loves Minneapolis sound, and there's something in that water. Like there's a mantle. Anything I do, it has to be massive. It has to be killing. And I'm really locked in a mode right now, and I'm so on fire to be an artist right now.
Welcome to the Gig Boss Podcast, a show about music industry and artistry. I'm Adam Meckler, and it's my mission to get you the tools to have a thriving career in music. And today, we've got L.A. Buckner on the show. L.A. is a drummer and producer out of North Minneapolis. You may know him from his work with PBS Sound Field, the awesome YouTube series produced by PBS. L.A.'s band, Big Homie, went #1 on iTunes in 2020, selling downloads in 2020. I asked him how he did it. We had a great conversation. L.A.'s an incredibly inspiring human, and I just know you're going to enjoy this conversation. Oh, and this is L.A. on drums in my song Sunshine Is Out in the bumper music. Without further ado, L.A. Buckner.
How you doing, family?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Solid. I'm solid.
That's awesome.
I'm solid. I'm cool. Could complain, but I'm not about to. Not going to.
Yeah.
Doesn't help.
So you're family man now.
Yeah. Yep. I got a daughter. Her name is Onyx Rose Buckner.
Onyx Rose.
Onyx Rose. Yep. She's 1. She is a little chicken nugget. Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's the homie. Yeah.
That's awesome. Has that changed? Like, not to get into it too deep, I guess right away, but has that changed what kind of gigs you take now and road stuff? And like, how's that impacted what you do? Super.
Certain gigs that I could afford to do, I can't even afford to do no more. Yep. No matter what they're paying, no matter how good the pay is, I can't even do it for the safety, for the being like here in Minnesota, it's different. Being a very tall black man in Minnesota, it's very different. You know, I can't be driving 45 minutes away to no farm to do a wedding. You know what I'm saying? Even though you're super rich, it's lit, but I'm the only black person in it's not safe to do that no more. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I've had to let that gig go in the last year. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it changes the, it got to be really serious for me to even want to leave the house, you know? Right. And I got the setup here at the crib. I'm writing music now, way more music now. And it's like to be out and perform, like it got to be worth it. Like the people or the music we're playing or the pay, it got to be it, you know? Right. I was talking with Jason Fabus about the 3 pillars of every gig. They're like, the triangle. Yeah. The triangle. Yeah. I seen that clip on IG. I seen that. Yeah. Yeah. That's it. Right. I mean, it's got to be good hang, good money. 2 of the 3, hopefully. Yeah. You know, good music. And good music. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. But now, like, I make sure my gig is that. You know what I'm saying? Like my band, like Big Homie, whoever is on the gig, it's gonna be a lit time. I'm trying to get everybody paid so that we don't play a whole lot. Right. You know what I'm saying? But we have like corporate joints that be like, okay, and we get to play what I want to play. It's going to be lit. You know what I mean? So It's like, but so if the gig don't pay super good, people will still be super down because of the hang and the, you know what I'm saying, and the music and the challenge that it is. People are still going to be down. You know, that's how you actually end up gigging with a lot of more elite players. Is it's like the hang has to be there and the music has to be challenging and the pay will take care of itself. Like I just want to spend my time fruitfully. More than get compensated for what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Yep. I'm trying to spend the time fruitfully. I'm learning the time is money thing. The time is money thing. So many different ways. Like, you don't even get paid for your gift because anybody can do the job. It's like you get paid for the time that the time that you put in. You leading up to, the preparation. Dude, I used to be in my practice room at McNally looking at charts and like on the drums are like, is this really what I'm finna do in my life? I'm like, it's gonna have to work. It's gonna work for me. That's what I used to say. That's what I used to say all the time. Like, all right, it's gonna work. It gotta work. And it's working. Low key, it's working. Like, damn, okay, I get it.
So are you being strategic with Big Homie about, I mean, you talked about what gigs you take. Are you trying to build a club show? Are you putting like a show together that's geared towards that? Or are you like, we'll play whatever, we're trying to do, corporate gigs, private parties? You did a tour not too long ago, right? With that band?
I was touring with Mike.
Oh, right.
MMYYKK.
And Omar. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, which that's another, and like, so yeah, the gigs that I'm taking, it has to be fruitful. Like that's another project where the hang, incredibly solid, music lit. So the pay, it'd be nice. And then someone would be like, whatever, come on. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But that's exactly the situation I'm talking about. There was the only, I'm playing for artists now that I'm realizing like I'm an artist. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I can't just be playing for everybody, because I really only want to play my stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, I'm super choosy, super picky with the artists that I choose to play with. You know what I'm saying? If I'm going to grow from it, if I'm going to be a dope piece to the puzzle, like, okay, I can see how this is going to work. Yeah. But, I had to get really good at saying no. I'm still not even good at saying no. I still be doing the most. Right. But there's a period of time. There's a period of time right early on where you are like, it's kind of like you say yes to a lot. It's like you're learning, you're connecting, you're meeting people, you're figuring that stuff about yourself. And then you go 100%. Like, all right, I got to start saying no. 100%. Yeah. And then you got to go through that thing of like spreading yourself way too thin, and like the quality kind of be lacking, and you're like, okay, you got to chill. You got to really hone in. Yeah. But yeah. This podcast is really dope. Adam, I've been seeing all the clips. Like, yeah, dude, you're tearing it up. The aesthetic. I see you got what we got in the corner right there. What's that?
I got my flugelhorn here. Okay, there's a lava lamp back there, but the light needs to be changed. I'd love to have the lava lamp going.
Oh, at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Be able to, well, whatever. I used to write in here late nights, and I'd have the lava lamp going, and I'd be working in the studio writing.
That's a classic. Songs. That's a classic. I've been writing lately, Adam.
Yep.
I have been writing actually, and it's like, I feel good about it again. You know what I'm saying? You know what? Okay, so look, I'm coming into a realization, right?
Yep.
I'm from the north side of Minneapolis, bro. I'm from the north side of Minneapolis. Okay.
Yep.
The culture that comes from here permeates the whole world.
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody loved Minneapolis sound. Mm-hmm. And there's something in that water. Like there's a mantle that is like here still that I feel like, you know what? Anything I do, it has to be massive. It has to be killing. And I'm really locked in a mode right now, Adam. Like I just left this job that I was doing. I just left it like very recently, and I'm so on fire to be an artist right now and play and like
release. Awesome.
I'm so on fire, and I'm like, I went number 1 on iTunes on the jazz.
I was going to ask you about that. So is that a download sales thing?
That's a download.
Like, how did you get people to download your shit in 2020? That's the question.
It's community, bro.
Yeah.
It's the community. I ain't gonna say it's just the north side alone, but like it's literally community and people that face to face. It's people, bro. It's community. It's old fashioned, right? And one person who's figured that out early on when he was 20 years old is an artist named Javante Patton. He's from Minnesota. He's from Northside. He's from Minneapolis.
But I've seen him on Facebook. I don't know him.
He's been number 1 on Billboard 4 or 5 times now.
Wow.
But he plays that numbers game, and he knows exactly. It's like it's community. I learned that, I played for him back in the day when we was all coming up. That's the first. That was my real college experience. Let's say that. Mm-hmm. DFY, Deliverance for Youth, Javante Patton and DFY. It was a community choir here in Minneapolis. That was college for me. That's what I was learning, what I be doing right now. That's where I was, the beginnings. I happened to be going to school at the same time at McNally Smith.
Yep.
But my outside school experience, my extracurricular experience was the real school.
That's always going to be the realest info and
and
real-time feedback and
like. That was when Facebook was just popping, and Instagram was in the very beginning stages. So like the social media thing and promoting through social media, like that He had that in the bag. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I came up in that realm. So that the number one thing, it was like, whoa, this is wild. I was standing right here when I got the news. I was like,
yeah,
dang, that's crazy. But I see how real it is. And it's like, I have to wear this North Minneapolis thing on my back, like, because it's like, it's when you know, like all my OGs, their favorite musician is Stokely.
Yeah.
Stokely from the Twin Cities. Okay. Like there's something here in the water. Like all my OGs, Calvin Rogers, Sput, everybody who hitting it, every real musician who I can't say every real, cats who's on the gigs that I love that we watching, and that all the cats that we've been inspired by, they've been inspired by Stokely. Yeah. Stokely's from here. You know what I'm saying? There's a sound here. It's churchy, but it's close to Africa. It's a mixture of things.
Yep.
There's a lane. You know what I'm saying? And I think the Black experience, it's reflected in the music here. Prince, I heard some vault tracks from Prince. I heard some vault tracks, and he was talking about being Black, living in Minneapolis, talking about revolution, talking about it sounded churchy. I'm like, I ain't never heard, like, with the label not let that come out, like it was fire. But I was like, okay, that I felt the responsibility. I was cutting grass when I was listening to it. I was just like, this is eerie. It's eerie. Yeah. But I feel the responsibility though, Adam.
And obviously that racial tension's been going on in America forever, but in Minneapolis in particular, then that's more evidence that, Prince was talking about it then too.
I was riding right after George Floyd. I was riding my bike over south, and I seen a yard sign. It was like a sheet that was hanging on the fence, and it said, Prince was the only one that told you the revolution would be in Minneapolis. I was like, oh, dang, that's a bar. That's so real. But like, let's count backwards. Amir Locke, okay, Dante Wright. I've had to play his funeral. Yeah. George Floyd, Jamar Clark, Philando Castile. Yep. And there's several other names, names of Black people killed by Minnesota police. It's like, there's definitely something going on here, something in the water. And like, I couldn't even go, I had to leave a show. Jacob Collier came to Fillmore. He's so dope.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
I was like, I'm definitely pulling up. Boom, got a ticket, boom, boom. I had to leave by the fourth song. I got there before everything started, and it was so many aggressions, so many, me being a large Black man in a crowded white space is, the tension is palpable. And I know I ain't crazy because I live this every day, right? You know what I'm saying? But like, just no space, no personal space acknowledgement. People just walking, scuffing your shoes, bumping past you. They don't see you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Drink spilling on your shoes, or guys grabbing their girls close away from you. It's just like, dang, that's crazy. That's crazy.
I remember Questlove talking about this. Like, Questlove talked about because he's a really tall Black man. It's like, talked about being in an elevator with a woman, and she's like clutching her purse, and he was like, "This, if I had a nickel for every time this happened,
I would be balling." You know what I'm saying? But that's reflected in the music too. I was wondering why my music sound so intense the way it do. Like, and I'd be having to catch my breath after every song, but like. But the feel good, the joy of it, the cool part of it sounds just as funky. That like, so it's all of that. Our flavor is, our flavor is palpable throughout the world. My homie Corey Stampley, my production mentor, who taught me everything I know about making beats, he just got a placement with Chris Brown. The song dropped today.
Sick.
A Christmas song. But like, there's a sound. It's like there's a thing that's happening. In Minneapolis. Like, we're such a low key place. I'm saying, a low key city. We're a very small, big city. We're a big, small city. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But with earnest music, with big sounds coming out.
A sound that Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis got inducted to the Hall of Fame this year. 41 number ones.
Yep.
That's crazy. And they went to my high school. They live in my neighborhood. I listened to the podcast with them, and I listened to Morris Day's book, and this dude was talking about North High School, talking about my school, talking about my neighborhoods. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
But
I just got to play with Jelly Bean recently.
Which is really fun. Jelly Bean is the green light. So every musician who's on tour, who comes into town, they got a night off, or after the show they're gonna stop by Bunkers. But Jelly Bean is my green light to let people know who I am. You know what I'm saying? Like I met Ronald Bruner, and I introduced him to Jelly Bean. He was like, no, bro, like this is huge for me. Like I'm like, yeah, this man, but like this, it's a part of the culture. You got to welcome everybody in when they come through. You know what I'm saying? You got to pull up on your people when they come to town. That's how we keep the musician, that culture alive, right? Mm-hmm. Spud, same thing. Came to Bunkers, and I asked him, like, you met Jelly Bean yet? He was just like, Jelly Bean Johnson? I'm like, he's right over here. He was like, bro, you got to make that happen. I'm like, come on, man, what's up? Boom. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So like, there's a thing, that influence from the city, it permeates the world. They was in town playing for Toto. Spud was in town playing for, you know what I'm saying? So like, it's everywhere. It's permeated everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. So your new music that you're writing right now, are you working on music that's instrumental? Are you working on music that's going to have lyrics? You can do collaborative work? What's going on?
That's such a good question, Adam. And I was thinking about this just a couple of days ago. Personally, this is my opinion, and I don't know. I don't feel like the stuff I be writing right now has any room for lyrics. Yeah. Or a voice on it. I don't know. I sing. I do sing. I don't sing though. You know what I'm saying? I don't like to sing. I love to sing. I don't like to sing for nobody.
Your parents sing? Is that right?
My pops is a vocalist. Yeah. My grandma, she had 8 children, 3 sets of twins, 2 single.
3 sets of twins?
All boy girl twins, 2 single boy girl. They had a singing group. They were Northsiders, the Buckners, the Minneapolis Gospel Twins, Minnesota Gospel Twins, Minneapolis Gospel Twins, the Buckners. That's my grandma, Thelma Battle Buckner. But look at this. My family is like heavy in the church realm too. The world, like the church realm, like the Church of God in Christ is a huge denomination in Black American churches. Mm-hmm. And my grandma's dad was a founding member of the whole denomination. He was prayer partners with Bishop C.H. Mason, right? My grandma told me a story. She said, yeah, Elvis was we the same age. Elvis used to come to the church for a couple of years. Elvis. And she said he about 12 or 13. He'll come and he would sit for when the music started, and he'll leave when the music stopped. And she said years later, when he got out the military or whatever, she seen him dancing on TV or singing, and he was doing the exact same moves that her papa would be doing up on stage, or her brother would be doing with his guitar. Yeah, he was dancing the exact same way. I said, what? She said, if Elvis would have stayed for the word, Elvis would have been saved. I was like, okay. I'm like, okay, Granny. But like, that's a visceral occurrence. That like this American legend got his moves straight from my family in Tutwiler, Mississippi. Yeah. Right next door to Tupelo, Mississippi. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like there's something spiritually here in the water, and it's reflected in the music. So
there's like a musical mentorship thing in the Black church, right? Like I've heard of like organ, like young kids who are interested in the organ, and they just say, all right, you sit next to the organ player. And maybe you told me that, I don't know. You sit next to the organ player and just watch their hands. And
it's supposed to be mentorship. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to be, you get put on. Yeah. Yes. But sometimes, dude, it's just like these kids nowadays, they're literally prodigies, bro.
Yeah.
And we don't know how they learning as fast as they're learning. And like I just told my student, like, okay, dude, I can't tell you nothing about no chop. Okay, he's about to be 16. He's 15 years old. I can't tell you nothing about no kind of lick or chops or nothing like that. I'm saying, but I can tell you how to do this job that we have to do now. You know what I'm saying?
Sure,
but like when it comes to being incredible, like the kids just be having that, like a 2-year-old, Corey Henry was playing organ when he was 3.
Yeah.
Like holding it down, bass and like chords, like what? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't need, that's just a spirit. It's a gift. It's a spirit. It's God. It's the Holy Ghost. And we just got to keep it all the way funky. That's literally what it is. You know what I'm saying? People be so afraid to take it spiritual. Like, I don't want to get too deep. But like, if we just literally call a thing and just what it is, like the jazz took that from the church and gave it to the whole world. Black American musicians who was doing the Black American music took their whole church inspiration. And when you soloing and you're not really thinking about what you're doing, you know what I'm saying? You're not relying on your technique or your practice. It's like, but you're not even controlling what's happening to a degree.
Absolutely. That's
that
the
translate
idea.
state. That's
that
playing in the
state.
It's the spirit that's playing in the spirit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And what it is we sound good. The Bible says to play skillfully with a loud noise, right? So like we're supposed to put it out there. You're giving thanks back to God for the gift. That's what makes it sound good. You know what I'm saying? You ever notice like you never sound as dope as you do when it's just you playing by yourself? Like if you're playing on stage, like when you're practicing just when it's just you practicing, you do stuff that ain't nobody heard before. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the coldest stuff ever. It's like, why don't this come out on the stage? Like why don't I do this with the crowd? Like, but like there's
what do you attest that? Why? Like, cause to me, like maybe that's, we get in front of people and we get in our own heads. Maybe like we're unable to find the zone, you know?
And our ego gets there. It was like, okay, I gotta, but when it's like just you and God one-on-one and you giving your gift back, like, that's why it sounds so fire. And look, David in the Bible was a great shepherd. He was a warrior. He was a great king. But he was also a fire musician. He played the strings. He played the psaltery or the harp or he was a guitarist.
The lute or something.
The lute. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was a guitarist and he could play the spirit into the room. And that's what tormented Saul or the dude who was trying to kill him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, it's a spiritual thing. And so he was great because he gave so much thanks back. He just like that one-on-one, that practice time, that's what makes you get better. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But like, I noticed that it's a spiritual thing, bro. It's a spiritual thing. We just got to call a thing. It's a spirit of music. It's a holy.
Yeah. It's interesting. I've read this book a couple of times, Effortless Mastery by Kenny Werner, who's this piano player. And he talks a lot about this. He's comes from like the Buddhist faith and he does like meditation surrounding his thing, but it's very much like a spiritual experience. You know, it's like, that's how he approaches finding the zone or finding whatever you want to call it, a place of clarity when you're performing.
Absolutely. And that's why people play. That's why they come back to their instrument, because that being in that zone, there's nothing else like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or Jay Young told me, bass player, he told me the first time that like he and someone else in the band did the same thing at the same time, it was just like the same idea. I think that was him who told me that. He said that's what makes him want to get up and play music even more, to try to get that feeling again. I was just like,
just yesterday, so my students were like, how does that happen? My students were asking me, how does that even happen? I'm like, well, you know, playing with
what do you say?
I was saying, when you're playing with the same people a lot, it's like you grow a connection. You start to anticipate what each other might do. It's like there's a connectivity. There's this like mind meld in musicians that play together a lot.
And it happens off the instrument. The bond, the kicking it, the conversations, the support, the vulnerability, and the truth, and like, I need help with this, y'all. Like off the instrument,
right?
Then that's the chemistry. That's how that chemistry gets built. Like when you're on tour, you only playing 40 minutes, a 50-minute set. But you traveling and kicking it and vibing the whole rest of that time, right? You know? So it's like,
and music doesn't get any better than when you're on tour. I mean, there's no better when you're on tour musically, like I've not experienced anything like it, especially being 6 weeks, like doing a 6-week tour or something with a band. It's next level musically, and what you can do physically, just like, at least for me in trumpet playing. I saw you try to play the trumpet in one of your videos recently, so you know how hard it is. But man,
I got so much respect for y'all. I got so much respect for trumpet players.
It's like you feel like Hercules after being on the road 6 months, Yeah. So it's like your individual ability is brought up, and this like communal thing that's been going on with the band you've been on the road with, comes out on stage.
100%. And then that's how those link ups, those are we thinking the same thing at the same time. And we've done this so many times. Like, I might as well go for it. Oh, he went for it too. Boom. Perfect. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I try to tell my students, this is universal to life. It's not just drums. It's like, this is basketball too. I tell the young ladies, this is doing hair too. This is the same thing. You have these rudiments that's going to help you separate and be cleaner in your thought processes when you get into the, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's an interesting analogy. Yeah.
No, it's universal. Everything, all the stuff that we do musically, it's like, it's an avenue to everything else in the world. I did a drum clinic, a master class for this artists festival thing, right? New Griots Fest back in 2016 or 2017. And this dentist came up to me. He said, I'm not a musician, but he said, but everything you said, it applies like the same way. I'm a dentist. He said, and I use the same exact technique that you were talking about. Yeah. I was just like, that's wild. Yeah. That's wild. So like this whole language is universal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to talk to you a little bit about how PBS Sound Field came about. I mean, like, when I was working with you at McNally Smith, it was really clear to me you're an incredible musician, but also like a charismatic orator, right? Like somebody who's really good with words, good with students. And, when we went on tour and talked with schools, it was like always like, we got to give Ellie a chance to speak to these students because they're going to be inspired,
That's a vibe.
And so like PBS Sound Field feels like it's an extension of that spirit with you. So how did that opportunity come about? And I mean, some of those videos have 500,000 views almost. I mean, it's like, those are crushing.
Yeah, dude. That was literally just a blessing that just dropped into my lap, literally.
Yeah.
I recorded drums for Toussaint Morrison.
Yep.
Activist here in Minneapolis, phenomenal artist, podcaster here in Minneapolis.
Yep.
Recorded drums on his album, and he hosts another show called America from Scratch with PBS, and it's like
check that out.
It's a what if political show. Yeah, America from Scratch. What if on politics? What if on politics kind of thing? Okay.
Interesting.
But he said, you know what? They're looking to start like a music kind of education kind of show that they want you to host. And I was like, yeah, I'm down. Give them my number for sure. He's like, yeah, they're going to meet at TPT in St. Paul, boom, boom. And I'm thinking it's like a one-time, like a documentary thing.
Sure.
I'm like, yeah, I'd love to. Okay, cool. I show up and it's like a boardroom of people. They got catered food. They like flew people in from Toronto, from DC. I was just like, oh, what is this? I'm like, okay, cool.
Yep,
like, I'm down. And it turned out to be one of the coolest experiences. It's so dope. Yeah. It's so dope. And it's opening the door. It still ain't even did what it's about to do yet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's opened up major doors for me already. And that I want to use my voice, That's a prayer I have deep down inside. Like because I know this voice is going to probably bring in more bread than my physical labor, sweat equity.
Interesting.
And one of the OGs told me, he was like, yeah, he said, black folks, like, we got to sweat to get that bag. I was like, dang, why is that? So I'm trying to really, and I noticed the less sweat, the more bread in the boardroom or in the buildings, the less sweat, the more bread. You know what I'm saying? Like, or what about athletes? But still in that realm, less sweat, the more bread. Even when you're talking about LeBron, yeah, he feeding back, got generational wealth. Let's get it. But who there's still crumbs compared to who's watching LeBron in the boxes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that sweat equity, I've been thinking about that. Like, if I want to tap to this bag, I want to see how I could get to it without so much pouring out. I'm getting older. My body is getting different too.
Yeah.
And being tall and living in a small world it's not, you know what I'm saying? I have to have the exit row on the plane because it's like, there's no other way, bro. Like, injury. But the sound field thing, back to this.
Yeah.
I'm trying to use my voice, bro. And it's been I be learning just as much as the viewers. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The episode, I probably can't even talk about this. I don't know if I can talk about it yet. I don't even know. But I did just get signed off for a few more episodes, like 6 more.
Awesome.
I was like, oh, it was a decent little season. Okay, cool. We're starting it back up. We've been on pause for a little minute.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I was going to ask if it's still going, yeah.
Yeah. We've been on pause for a minute, but the YouTube's is going to be there forever. So it's like, it's going to be going, you know. But we in talks of new episodes right now, and this one is going to change the culture. I'm just saying right now, I don't care.
Yep.
Battle rap.
Oh, yeah.
Battle rap. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. I don't know. Somebody might take the idea.
Well, we'll all go and watch it, you know, make sure everybody listening goes and
a battle rap episode. And it's going to be, they're looking at that with an educational lens on it. That's just going to it's going to explain the culture. Like it's the window.
So it's like the Brooklyn Cypher. Like, is that you discussing like where that started and the early or like now?
I'm talking about what it's become, the culture it is now, where it's like it's like wrestling mixed with soap operas, but it's black literature at the highest level of improvisation and preparation. Like they prepare and like these verses, like it's crazy what they're doing to these words. Quadruple entendres.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, real wordsmiths. Yeah.
Come on, man. It's like,
I spent a lot of time listening to Black Star, and I know that those guys are deep lyrically. Like the early record, I've listened to the new record a bunch too, but those early records, I know like Talib owned a black-owned bookstore in Brooklyn. You know, he's a he's a literary guy. His parents were professors.
They're poets, bro. Yeah. Every rapper, if put their emotions on a paper, is a poem, bro. And mugs really don't even want to admit that. But like, you can't say Kendrick wasn't writing poetry. You know what I'm saying? Like all Jay-Z, Nas became my new favorite rapper. He just dropped his new album, KD3. KD3. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I mean, the new Kendrick is like
deep.
Great. I mean, so deep.
You said what?
The new
Okay. Oh.
Yeah, there you go.
That was a birthday gift some years ago.
That's beautiful.
But like it's poetry, bro. It's poetry. Yeah. But this battle rap thing, Nas even said on the record, he said, I'm dropping bars like I'm on stage with Smack. Smack is like the biggest league founder of the battle rap industry. It's like, it's a whole world, bro. It's a whole world. But that's the Sound Field thing.
Have you thought, like, the way I think, whatever, but I would think like, man, you've got this like huge audience with PBS Sound Field. Have you thought about creating your own channel and like going hard, doing your own videos and then monetizing that somehow and selling merch? And like it seems like you could piggyback on that and like really grow your own brand. I mean, I don't want to do any spoilers either if that's what's happening, but
Yes, but so much work, bro.
Yeah.
And I got a lazy thing to me. The homies will be like, my mentor, Solomon, he'll be like, man, you BSing, man. You playing around. He'll tell me that all the time. And my homies in California be like, yeah, like, yeah, okay, yeah, you gonna do it, bro. Okay, yeah, whatever. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna do it. Yeah, I need to hire somebody, bro.
Yeah, I was gonna say, build a team. Yeah, I mean, it's like, and now you've seen it.
To hire somebody to do that.
Yeah, and you've been in it, done at the highest level, with PBS Sound Field. So it's like you have that inside. Yeah, exactly.
I see what it takes, and like, I'm not going to do it myself. Certainly not. Yeah. But when it can come, it's going to be there.
Yeah.
I mean, But do I even need to? Do I need to?
Do you need to? Yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah.
I mean, to grow the brand and expand is just like,
especially if it's not something you're passionate about. It's like,
I'm really not. I want to play drums, bro.
Yeah,
I just want to play. I really want to play. And like, well, you can use your voice more. This is the way to do it. It's like, okay, I hear you. If it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. This happened so far. Yeah, I'm gonna keep being led. I'm gonna keep being led. Okay, if I feel led to do that, God gonna make a way for it all to happen. I'm gonna have the most fierce social media. I'm actually looking for a social media person, like a person, because I hate playing the Instagram game. But
I was gonna say you're not active, right? It's like you're not super active on social media, but like it looks like you would totally crush if you were, like, you know.
I wish I would. Like, I'd be posting. No, I don't be posting. I don't even be on there that much either. Like, but I'd be tapped in with like the heat. I know where the culture is as far as my Instagram is only just drums and like drums and like basketball and drums and like cooking. Yeah. And just more church shouting videos, drums, church. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it's like I'm staying close to the fire with the culture and the drum, but like the kids, like the recording setups and like the lighting and like the video editing and like that's another game to play too. That's another game to play. Whether I'm doing the YouTuber game and look. I don't want to be that. I don't want people knowing that much about me, bro. I don't want that. I don't want mugs all up in my business like that.
Yep.
And that's like, I'm just going to show you where I am, y'all. I don't know. That's federal. The cameras is already watching. Your phone camera don't never shut off. Yeah. These is always on.
Yeah.
I'm one of them. The conspiracy, like I think that's
it's real. I mean, they're listening. Bro. You know, you talk about
man.
Something and it shows up in your feed as an ad. You know, it's like that's real.
Dude. Come on. So it's like, no. But I'm gonna see. You ain't seen it on my story. I'm like, oh, I didn't. But my wife, like, I would laugh at a video she sent me next week. Like, she was like, that's not even funny anymore. I'd be like, oh. I'm like, but this dude. She was like, yeah. So I really don't be on even on my phone in general, like responding. I have so many text messages on right now. Like I just don't be. I be trying to get out of the phone and like, but I know that the way to grow and do it is like that's how you play the game. That's the gig. That's the game right there. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So it's like
in person too. I mean, like being present in person, being. You know, it's like we talked about that a lot, and like that's more important probably than the other. Like I know a lot of people that are successful musicians that have no presence online.
And I think that's so dope.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like the cats who be really popping, but they don't have to do like that's so dope. That's really tight. But I want to play some more. I want to travel some more. I want to get out and bring my family on that kind of thing. Like I'm trying to do it, bro. And I'm trying to play my music. So that's really what I'm focused on, Adam. I'm trying to play my music and like tour. And I have touring with other situations. Like it's fun, but like the music, my music, people got to hear what I'm doing. People have to hear what this sound. Like this is, I'm talking about Ableton. I'm talking about like if I got to be in a stadium, like it's there. One of a PhD experience that I had this past summer. A PhD performance experience. This is what I'm labeling this as. Sitting in, subbing the gig for Stokely was one of the coldest experiences. And I cherish that so much as a musician. And like, I know millions of musicians, drummers specifically, would have loved to be in that seat, to get that call. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't take that lightly at all. I know who Stoke is. I know that Chris Dave, who I feel is like Michael Jordan of our culture, calls him Big Bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I know how crazy of a call that is, right? And to be trusted with that. But like all the learning that I did on it was like, it was in retrospect. I'm like, okay, this brother, his whole life is like protecting his being for the gift. Okay. His whole life is centered around like preparing himself to do the best of his ability. He showed up to the airport chewing on some garlic because it's good for your breathing in your throat and like knees or something. I was just like, oh, he's locked in.
Yeah.
He told me, he said we was on a cruise ship. And he said, did you sleep with the deck door open? I'm like, nah. It was like, he was like, yeah, try it. He said, turn the air up real good in your room. He said, and then open that deck door. He said, and then you get the mix of the warm and the cold. And it's like, it's good for your breathing I was like, that's crazy. Like, that's lit. He's locked in. But like, I tried it the next night. I was so refreshed. And like, I was dewy. It was like breathing in the morning. I'm like, that's crazy. So it was the requirement for the gig. Like 4 members in the band told me, it was like, yeah, still hit hard though. Hit hard. Even when it's a slow jam, like it's a power ballad. Like they was telling me, Brandon told me, he said, yeah, that'd be cool if he was like Dakota or something. He said, but like we finna be, I was like, oh, okay. He's like, we doing like amphitheaters, bro, like stadiums. Like, I was like, okay. He's like, them big hi-hats, that's cool. He's like, you get you some small joints. Them's the only ones that's gonna cut. I was like, okay, I'm with it. Whatever you say, I'm down. And then like running Ableton is just like seeing all the details of every sound. And when you talk about sonically painting, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the backing tracks, it's so many textures, but it fits. And like
you're triggering tracks from Ableton, from the drum show. I've talked to Brandon about that on the podcast. We were talking about that a little bit.
Yes. And Brandon, the way Brandon got it laid out, I just respect him so much because he's so much more than just the drummer, just the musician. Like he is another audio tech. Okay. He's recording rehearsals. But he knows that's his strength and he makes himself a super asset. You know what I'm saying? Like he's essential to that operation. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so dope. And that whole gig was just such a family vibe, even in the hang of it. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, it was just such a great experience in like playing. Okay, there's one thing that I be trying to convey to my students. And one thing I was taught at McNally too, right? When you're playing with a click, and this was a super proof, the Stokely gig was, but playing with a click, most of us, we be trying to be right on it. You know what I'm saying? We be trying to be, but there's always a little bit of discrepancy. Like there's some tension, there's a struggle to be there, right? But I was told, if you let the click lead you a little bit, if you play a tiny bit behind the click, just a little bit, that there's some science that's happening between you and the speakers and the audience and the ears and the thing, and it'll just sit a little better if you. I feel like when we try to be right on with the click, we be rushing a little bit. It's too anticipated, right?
Yeah.
But if you just sit back seat to the click, you know what I'm saying? Play behind it just a little bit. It really works, right? So I'm listening to the track in my ears, but I take one out and I see the track outside, and it works. I'm noticing I'm playing to the track in my ears in rehearsals, but I'm noticing I'm rushing every single song. Like every single song is like that bit too fast a little bit. It's like it's my internal clock. I have to sit even more. And look, they've been touring. Back to the old point of playing with musicians so long, y'all know each other's like they all have a synced like position of like where they gonna be on the track. So they know how far back to sit on the track. It's like, oh snap.
Yeah.
I sound like I'm rushing. So like that was a real thing on the gig. And like hearing it in the amphitheater and like seeing how that little millisecond late that it's there, it's like, oh, so it makes sense for me to like sit back even more behind. And I asked Stoke, he leaves the stage and goes and sits in the crowd doing a sound check with different couple angles. And I noticed the discrepancy, and I asked him, I was like, was I dragging or was I rushing? And he was like, I didn't understand that. I was like, okay, so you got to sit back on that click, dude.
Yeah.
Even in lessons, even when I'm in sheds, when I'm playing, the track is playing, I'm always telling my students, like, sit back.
Yeah.
You on top of the click and he's rushing, you throwing off the vibe, bro. Sit back. Sit back.
That's really interesting. Yeah, I know that that's true of like in general, like bass playing is always better when it's a little behind, and it's like I was doing some editing for Jason McGlone and we were editing this funk stuff and he was like sliding the bass part around and he was like, listen to how far back I can slide the bass where it still sounds good.
It sounds good. Yeah.
It's like, it was crazy.
Every session with Jason McGlone is a masterclass.
Yeah.
Every session with Jason is a masterclass. Yeah. He's locked in.
He's a wizard. Yeah.
He mixed Stokely's project.
Oh, really?
A bunch of it.
Most of it. I didn't know that.
Most of it.
That's cool. He's mixed my last couple things. Yeah.
Yep. And he's going to be mixing my stuff too. Just one of the greatest, man.
Yeah. I've got a new project too. Brandon's working on it. He sampled a couple of my big band charts and made beats for me. So I'm doing this thing where I'm like having producers sample my big band music and turn them into beats and different songs. And I'm doing like collabs with artists on top of them.
That's tough.
So McGlone's going to mix that. But yeah, Brandon did a couple. It's cool.
It's going to be dope. Off the record, I'll let you about some horns. I wrote a song. Maybe on the record. Yeah.
Yeah, come on. Let's go.
This latest song I wrote, bro, it's called Northside.
Yeah.
It's called Northside. And I love it. I love it. When you write a song that you like, you know what I'm saying? Like that you rock with. I don't know. Some songs, some beats I make, I'll be like, yeah, it's cool. It works. Okay. But some joints that I like that I'm excited about this one.
Yeah.
Like, it's a super funky. It sounds like Minneapolis. But like I don't feel like I'm forcing it though. I feel like it's just natural. Some Minneapolis funk kind of things, like it sounds like, okay, yeah, you going for it.
Well, I was gonna say earlier, a lot of people say they're doing Minneapolis funk, but it's like there's a certain, like, you actually come from the thing. It's like it's different. It has that earnestness. It's a different vibe.
Can we talk about something real quick? I don't like gimmicky or sticky stuff.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't never want to be caught up in like, kind of gimmicky or sticky looking stuff. Right.
Yep.
And sometimes the Minneapolis thing gets struck with like gimmicky or sticky. It's like,
yep.
But it still be sounding fire. It still be sounding like they doing all the right stuff. Like, so what can you really say? It's like,
yeah.
But I think often Prince wasn't gimmicky or sticky. Maybe some people thought he was with him, but his honest, like his motive was like, there's no shame in my game, and this is me, and like, y'all should embrace who y'all are too. That was his vibe. There's no shame in my game. But in that, whether it was sexuality, whether it was androgyny, whatever it was, you know what I'm saying, and musically, and he was very, very, very black in his music making, but that appealed to the masses. But like the thing with Minnesota black is like we got the other side of, there wasn't no black radio here back in the day. You know what I'm saying? So like we was all listening to Sabbath and Led Zeppelin and all them cats. We still locked in. That's why Jelly Bean is a guitarist, crazy guitarist. He is, because he's a rock, you know what I'm saying? A classic rock fan like that. You know what I'm saying?
That's interesting, man.
My pops who grew up in Minneapolis don't like no kind of rap like that. He don't like rap at all. He don't like rap at all. But like it's a that gotta be a Minnesota thing, because it wasn't no black radio. He was a freshman in high school the year rap was like invented. You know what I'm saying? And he was on the side of like, when y'all singing them nursery rhymes, like that ain't no real music. He's like, cut on some Earth, Wind and Fire. Like that's what my pops did. Sing a jazz ballad. Okay. Sing some chords. Okay. Like that's my pops, right? So he don't even appreciate the poetry of the, you know what I'm saying? Like he's on the other side. But like that's a Minnesota thing, being there's not a lot of black people here. And like there's a thing, like, you know what I'm saying, we get a lot of folks from Chicago, Milwaukee sometimes, you know what I'm saying, but it's still, if you black in Minnesota, it's very small. If you black and in church, it's much smaller. You know what I'm saying? But that's like that community thing that I was talking about.
Yep.
How you go number one on iTunes was like, okay, I see the PBS thing. I think it's really the community thing. I think it's like people really tapping in and be like, let me see what this is. And that's when I still had Facebook pushing people, like, make sure you download it. If you want to rock with it, download it. Buy it. Just buy it. Boom. and Muggs really tapped in with it, and you know, it was working.
Yeah.
But in the numbers, if you really get into numbers, you'll see what's really possible. It's like, okay, oh, well, I have to sell this many units. Okay, I'm gonna try this. Boom, and you can get that spot for, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Oh yeah, it was
right.
It was a blessing, though, man. It was great. I'll release some music. That's why I want to release some more music, because that's going to open more doors. I'm rambling. I'm talking so much, but there's one thing that I want to talk about. Why I'm inspired to create more music is because this dude, Mono Neon.
Big Mono Neon fan, man. Big Mono Neon fan.
He got like 12 albums, bro.
Yeah. My feelings be peeling. I've listened to so many of his
records. That's the coldest one. 2019. Yeah. That's the coldest one. That's the coldest record. My favorite one. That's my favorite record of his.
Yeah.
But he said, I really started like really writing and like singing and pushing out the music like that until I was working with him.
Yeah.
And he said he saw Prince pull out a scrap piece of paper with some lyrics on it in his pocket. He's still writing like that, bro. Like Prince, like it's in you that much.
Yeah.
And
that you're just like, oh, I got to write this down.
You know what I'm saying? It's in you. Like it's a part of your being. You really operate in your being like that. You're Prince. Like you could have somebody write down every one of your thoughts, but you still like, oh, okay. And writing, creating, you're still an artist. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All Neon said he ain't start recording until after Prince passed, but he got 12 albums. I was thinking like this streaming thing, if you put out the content and Muggs be listening, it's like groceries, bro. Like when they send that little quarterly, that send that little page, be like, it'd be nice. It'd be like, okay, so if like, you pushing out music, it could work a little bit. It could work for you.
Absolutely.
If you want to make a little bit of money over some time,
it's
music, like the way streaming is set up now, that's how it's going to work out for you.
Yeah, it's taken me a while to realize that, but now I've talked to a lot of people that like pay their rent with that money, you know, and it's like, it's not their whole income, but it's like when in music has one thing ever been your whole income, you know it's like very few people have that locked in. It's like there's, for the most part,
it's a stream.
Yeah. It's one of the streams. Yeah.
Nas just dropped a bar on his last album talking about when 1,500 plays equals one sale. Like, how much we really getting? I'm like, okay, that's real. That's real. 1,500 equals one.
Yeah.
Yikes. Well, that's the streaming world.
Right.
Hey, Adam, bro, I really appreciate you chopping it up with me.
Dude,
and having this conversation, dude.
Thank you for doing this. Where should people follow you to like find your music? I'm going to link stuff in the show notes. Instagram, PBS Sound Field. What should people do?
Yes, all of that. To find the music, you can type in anywhere you stream. You type in L.A. Buckner, and the album name is Big Homie. That's the name of the band, Big Homie.
We'll link Big Homie. Yep.
Yep. And PBS Sound Field. You'll see any of that, all of that.
Awesome.
Yep, you can find me there, and Instagram, the Arthur B. I hate shouting out my tags too. I hate shouting those out.
Yeah.
I just don't even look for me.
That's all right.
I'll link them. If we're meant to link, like it'll happen.
Yeah.
I'm so there. I was if it'll happen.
Yeah.
How else is it gonna happen? I gotta find you somewhere. Okay, that's real. That's real. The Arthur B.
Yeah. On IG. All right. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
You.
Thank you for all the knowledge. Yeah, and all the music.
Hey, let me just drop one bar too.
Yeah.
You one of the coldest teachers I've had, Adam. You one of the coldest, okay? Because you presented us with one of the scariest challenges musically, and none of us was ready for any of 19 sheets of music, 19 pages for a 30-minute one-piece song, and all these time signatures is changing. Like, what? Pat Metheny, The Way Up. You did it.
That's right. You did it.
We killed that. I'm not even going to stunt.
Awesome.
Thank you. We killed that, though. Yeah, like... And look. My whole thing, Adam, nowadays is like, I'm trying to deep fry everything musically. Okay. I want it to sound like church anniversary banquet chicken.
Yeah.
Okay. Like as black and as churchy as possible. I'm telling my friends when they record on my music, I said, do a lot of layers and be very aggressive. Please. I told the guitar player that ain't no black guitar players here in Minnesota. I mean, that do the churchy thing.
Yep.
That do the quartet style. you know what I'm saying, who play and who like Agape, like Jairus Mosey, like Eric Walls, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Sharky. No, ain't no guitar players here in Minneapolis. So I got to outsource, right? But I'm telling people, like, I watched this YouTube church and like this kid on the guitar, he overplays so much and it's so dope. It's so killing. I just reached out to him. I was like, bro, I need you. I'm like, boom. And he's like, yeah, come on. I'm waiting on him to send me the guitar back right now. Like, I can't wait to hear what he does. But like, I'm trying to deep fry everything that I do. Cause like, it's time to be who we are. It's time to be who we are. No matter who we are, it's time to be who you are. And like, I know what gets it going. Look, the crazy, like, it's the churchy stuff in popular music that we like cling to. It's the church, like that chromatic movement, the funky, tiny, or like filling in the spaces, like that's church. That's,
like, when I hear something and I'm like, I got to figure out what that is, it's always that. It's always the church thing. Always. I'm at the piano, like, I got to figure this out.
It's like, oh, hey, look. You was at this show too. PJ Morton.
Oh yeah.
Came to the Dakota, right?
Yep.
And I'll never forget this. He was doing something, and he's underrated on piano. He's very underrated. You know what I'm saying? His voice is dope, but like, he's really fire on keys too. Mm-hmm. And he tapped into something. He was doing something and he's singing along, and the keys was killing. And I looked over at Kevin Gastangwe at KG. Yeah. I looked over at him.
Yeah.
And he's looking over like, and I could just see like, I could just see his brain like computing like exactly what it was. I'm like, that's so fire. But like, it's that, like, look, the who's who of musicians was in the house that night to get that deep fried, to get that Louisiana, okay? That New Orleans, that we was there because that's the source, and it's the churchy. That's what makes Black American music. That's what makes American popular music. I told the kids the other day in class, I said, okay, I'll just play this. I played the trailer for Quincy Jones, like the little Netflix documentary, right?
Yeah, amazing documentary.
And I was telling them before I played it, I was like, this person is the most important person in American popular music. This person is arguably in American popular music, this dude, one of the most important. Like, like the most.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And they're like, no, I don't believe it. And I hit the play, and it was just like, okay. I'm like, I mean, like,
yeah. I mean, you go from Frank Sinatra to Michael Jackson, man. It's like to Will Smith and Prince of Bel-Air. I mean, like,
putting Oprah on. There was in his book, in Quincy's book, he said there was a season of maybe like 6 months where he was working in the mornings with Mike in Hollywood, and then he'd have to take a red eye to Vegas every night to conduct Frank Sinatra's big band at the Sands. Or
it's like Sinatra with Count Basie band with Quincy Jones arrangements. And come on.
Like, he's producing Off the Wall. He's producing Thriller, you know what I'm saying? And then flying every night to go work with Frank on charts. It's like, that's insane, bro.
Yeah, I'm getting chills just thinking about it, man. The documentary I left that documentary and I was like, I want to be just like Quincy Jones.
You know what I'm saying?
Trumpet player,
100%.
Yeah.
You 60% there with all that chart reading, all that scoring, composition. You there. Yeah. You got a big band. You got an orchestra.
Yeah, but I'm trying to graduate. That's it, though. That's it. It's like he graduated, Yeah,
that's
real. That's what I'm thinking about.
All right, yo. Much love. I got to split.
Thank you.
This was great, Adam. I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, likewise.
Much love.
All right, man.
All good. Peace.
Thanks so much for listening to my conversation with L.A. Buckner. If you're digging the podcast, please like and subscribe wherever you listen to the show. If you listen on Apple Podcasts, write a review and give us 5 stars. That helps us show up in other people's feeds, which will help us grow as a show. I appreciate you very much for listening. We've got an app that's called Gig Boss. That's an organizational tool for freelance musicians and band leaders. It's a way for you to manage all your schedules and finances in one place. It's free on iOS and Android. It's getting better every single month. Please check that out. We've got a Gig Boss Facebook page on Facebook called Gig Boss Podcast, where we digest these episodes. We talk about music industry related topics, and it always gets fun and sometimes heated in those comment sections. I enjoy that process of iron sharpening iron, so you can join us there. We've also got a Spotify playlist now that's linked in the description below of all the artists who've been on the podcast. So if you want to check out Big Homie, you can listen to Big Homie on the Spotify playlist called The Gig Bosses. All right. Thanks everybody for listening. Appreciate you.